Oh, 1 second while I get it all organized. Just got to check a few different things. Streaming on a few different platforms. The meditation's coming. Just hang on. I just got to make sure. Yeah, that's good. Am I sitting in the right place on Instagram? Yeah, I seem to be a bit fuzzy on Instagram. Am I fuzzy on Instagram? It looks fuzzy from where I'm looking. Hopefully that will clear up. Anyway, it's not so much what I look like, it's what I'm saying. Oh, I'm a bit fuzzy on Facebook as well. Don't know what's going on there. Camera on the blink. Okay. How are you? Good, I hope. It's all right if you're not okay, but I hope you are. Right, time for a bit of meditation. I meditate throughout the day, and this is just the one I do on the internet. It's not a class, it's just a chance to meditate together. So if you're familiar with meditation, that's brilliant. Just hang on for a minute though while I explain what I do, just for the benefit of people who are new to meditation. Because meditation is one of those funny things that it's almost people have this idea that they should just know how to do it. Well, that's the impression I get, because they kind of very quietly say to me, what do you actually do? So this is just what I do. There's lots of different styles of meditation. I see that I am still pretty fuzzy. I'm not very focused. Okay, so for me it starts with why I would meditate. I'm trying to connect with the part of myself that I connect to every night when I go to sleep. Not the dreaming bit, after I finish dreaming, so I'm dreaming and then I drop out the bottom of dreaming into deep dreamless sleep, where I have no thoughts, no memory of being there, no body, no stories, no nothing. I sort of stop existing, certainly in the way that I, normally register that I'm here. Which sounds terrible, like it sounds like death, and yet like I love going to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. So some part of me knows that that is a good place. And that's the place I want to go to when I meditate. I just want to do it consciously. So if you're new to meditation, first things, don't lie down when you're doing this. Because if you lie down, you're going to fall asleep. Or if you don't fall asleep, you're going to battle sleep. Not that there's anything wrong with sleep, but the point is to go into this place consciously. So as I say, no thoughts there. For some reason my mind can't seem to get there. So I have to make a sort of what I do is I make an arrangement with my mind where I say, could you just stop thinking for the next 15 minutes, please? Because I want to get into meditate. I want to meditate. And my mind is very on board with the whole idea now. It wasn't so much at the beginning, many years ago, but it is now. Now it's like, yeah, I've read about meditation. I've got lots of ideas about meditation, because that's what my mind does. It has ideas. I've got lots of concepts about meditation. Same, that's what my mind does. It has concepts about things. I like the idea of being a meditator. Similar mind thing, reflective, self-reflective. So, so my mind is on board for it. So that's good. And then to stop thinking is relatively easy. It's easy to stop. Not so easy to maintain, but it's easy to stop, because regardless of the content of my thoughts, the thoughts themselves are just made of pictures and sound, much like a TV. So if I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, that's it, I'm not thinking. So that's great. Now, as soon as I do that, I'm into the practice of meditation. And there's a difference between the practice of meditation and the intention of meditation. The intention of meditation, of my meditation, is to go to this deep, mysterious, calm, peaceful, mindful, or mindless, possibly eternal place. It's the place you read about when you read about meditation. So that's my intention. And then parallel with that is the practice of meditation. And the practice of meditation, as I practice it, is continually coming back to not thinking. So it'll go, I'll stop thinking, so I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound. Then a bit of time will pass and I'll discover that I'm thinking again. So then I'll turn off the pictures and I'll turn off the sound. I'll bring myself back to not thinking. Then a little bit of time will pass and I'll discover I'm thinking again. So I'll go, I'm thinking again. Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound, bring myself back to not thinking. And that's it, over and over and over again. For as many times as I discover that I'm thinking, I keep bringing my mind back. That's the practice of meditation. And I'll bring your attention to it, because It's quite easy to get the wrong idea that you should, if you're, going to meditate, that your mind should be like this lake and there isn't a ripple of thought across the whole lake. Which, in my 30 whatever years of meditating, is not the case at all. It's a kind of a dance. It flows between the two things. Sometimes you are very much still and calm and all the things you read about meditation, and other times you're thinking, and it sort of goes back and forth. But if you don't know that, you could very easily feel like if you find you're thinking, feel like you're not doing so well at meditation. Which isn't the case. So if you find yourself thinking a lot, that's fine. Doesn't matter how many times you bring yourself back. The power is in that you bring yourself back to not thinking. Because the thoughts I think about, they're all to do with me, and they're very personal, and I'm thinking about, really important stuff, and I think. And then I'll go, oh, that's right, I'm meditating. And so I'll just turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. I'll stop that thought. Every time you do that, you're indirectly telling yourself or showing yourself, demonstrating to yourself that you are not that thought. The thought you thought was you an instant beforehand, suddenly you just made it disappear and you're still there. You are still there. So you're indirectly saying to yourself, I am not my thoughts. I'm something else. That's very powerful. And then the fact that you do that repeatedly, that's very powerful. So if you find you're thinking a lot, that's fine. You're doing grand. Right, now while all that's going on, I'm also becoming more conscious of my body. So I'm scanning my body from my head down to my feet and back up again. And anywhere I find tension, I'm letting it go. And I use my out breath to do that, the letting go bit, because it's natural to sort of just let it go as I breathe out. But it's also a good way of remembering to breathe, because it's quite easy to hold your breath in meditation or forget to breathe. So using the out breath is a good way to stop doing that. And then as well as that, while I'm scanning my body up and down, I'm paying particular attention to any structures in my body that go across or transverse in my body. Mostly my body runs longitudinally, but anywhere that goes across has a tendency to accumulate tension. A bit like a log going across a stream, it'll pick up the branches and the twigs and the leaves, except in my body it's tension. So I'm paying particular attention to my eyes. That's a transverse site. There can be a lot of tension there. My jaw, my tongue, the base of my neck, my shoulder girdle. I'll have a quick look at all my joints because they are transverse as well. So shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. My heart area, because that's a kind of a twisty-turny transverse area. My respiratory diaphragm, all my intestines, my pelvic floor, my hips, my knees, my ankles, and my toes. Again, if you're new to meditation, a nice quiet room is very helpful where you're not going to be disturbed, because once you close your eyes, your other senses will amplify, and little noises are they trigger thoughts. So yeah, a quiet room is very helpful. Now I'm going to set a timer for how long I meditate for. I always do that. That's just to help my mind. It's just to give it one less thing to think about. So I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes, but I'd encourage you to set yours for shorter if you're new. Like just set it for 5 minutes and then repeat that 3 times. And the reason for that is 15 minutes is a long time if you're not used to it. Even with the timer, around the 7-minute mark, your mind will kick in with all sorts of thoughts about, did I put the timer on? That couldn't be, it must be the time is up now. It feels like way longer than 15 minutes and so on. So yeah, shorter timer and then just repeat it 3 times. Okay, so this meditation is part of the whole further emergence work that I do, and I'll explain a little bit more about that after we're finished doing the meditation. But for now, as I say, not a class, we're just going to meditate together. So let me just get the timer going. Okay, off we go into the mystery. All right, if you feel like you've gone very deeply inside yourself, take a minute to come back from there if you feel like you need to before you open your eyes. Or if you feel like you can hold the inner space and the outer space at the same time, then just open your eyes. And if you, as soon as you open your eyes, you lose the inner space, just close them again, check in, it's still there, open them again. You can go back and forth, opening and closing your eyes just to sort of hold the two together. Okay, so as I said, this is all part of the further emergence work I do. Further emergence is just a name I have for a process of inner growth, really. You know, our bodies stop growing once we become adults, but the inner growth continues. And then sometimes you can go through a growth spurt on the inside, similarly to, you know, when you were a kid or an adolescent. And that can be quite disorienting to suddenly have a growth in consciousness. So that's kind of what the further emergence work is, to sort of help with that. And how you know if you're going through a growth spurt is it doesn't feel, you know, all beautiful and conscious. It can feel just really disorienting, like, hey, my life doesn't really fit me anymore, or I don't recognize myself in my life, or I don't recognize my life the way I did before. And it can be an overnight thing sometimes, or it can manifest as physical symptoms. You can have very debilitating symptoms that feel like they've put your life on pause, or they're just really distracting you. So yeah, that's what the further emergence work is about. These meditations are part of it. I do these every day, and then I have a Zoom group every Friday, or 8 o'clock Irish time. And then I see people for one-to-one sessions where we work together. Okay, so thanks very much for meditating with me. Just checking now any messages. Well, just thanks and saying hello. Yep, hello to everyone. And what about Facebook? Yep. Okay, so see you tomorrow for some more meditation. Bye.